5 actors who were considered for the role of Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead. It's hard to imagine The Walking Dead without Andrew Lincoln's portrayal of Rick Grimes. His intense performance, emotional depth, and natural leadership made him the face of the franchise for nearly a decade. However, before Lincoln landed the role, several other actors were in the running, one of whom was even attached to the project when Frank Darabont was first shopping the series around. Here are 5 notable actors who were considered for the role of Rick Grimes. Number 1. Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane, best known for his role as Frank Castle in The Punisher, was originally attached to play Rick Grimes when Darabont first pitched The Walking Dead to HBO. At the time, Jane had already worked with Darabont on The Mist, making him a natural choice for the lead role. However, despite initial interest, HBO ultimately passed on the project. By the time Darabont secured a deal with AMC, Jane had already committed to another series, ironically, an HBO original, leaving the role of Rick Grimes open for recasting. Number 2. Ethan Embry. Ethan Embry may be familiar to The Walking Dead fans as Carter, an Alexandrian resident who attempted to undermine Rick. His time on the show was brief. His character was killed off in the Season 6 premiere, but his involvement with the series could have been much greater. Embry revealed on an episode of The Talking Dead that he auditioned for multiple roles in the pilot, strongly hinting that one of them was Rick Grimes. While he didn't land the role, he still got his chance to be a part of the Walking Dead universe, albeit in a much smaller capacity. Number 3. Stuart Townsend. Irish actor Stuart Townsend, known for his role as Dorian Gray in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, was also a contender for the part of Rick Grimes. Townsend has had his fair share of near misses when it comes to major roles. He was originally cast as Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but was famously replaced by Viggo Mortensen just days before filming began. While it's unclear how far he got in the audition process for The Walking Dead, it's another example of a major franchise that Townsend came close to joining. Number 4. Mark Pellegrino. Mark Pellegrino has built a reputation for playing intense and often sinister characters, from Jacob in Lost to the abusive Paul Bennett in Dexter. His rugged look and commanding presence made him an early contender for the role of Rick Grimes. While he didn't end up leading The Walking Dead, Pellegrino's acting chops would have likely made for a very different take on Rick, one perhaps even darker and more brooding. Number 5. Jamie Bamber. Best known for his role as Lee Adama in Battlestar Galactica, Jamie Bamber was another actor that Frank Darabont had his eye on for Rick Grimes. After Thomas Jane exited the project, Bamber was a serious consideration, in part because he closely resembled Rick from the Walking Dead comics. While he ultimately didn't get the role, it's easy to see why Darabont was high on him. His experience playing a leader in a tense, survival-driven drama would have translated well to the post-apocalyptic world of The Walking Dead. Final thoughts. In hindsight, Andrew Lincoln was the perfect choice for Rick Grimes, delivering an iconic performance that helped make The Walking Dead one of the most successful television series of the 2010s. However, it's fascinating to think about how different the show might have been had one of these actors taken on a role instead. Are there any other actors you think would have made a great Rick Grimes? Let us know in the comments.